Shalom, shalom. Call Halah, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakak, Wadash. Call Halah is how you say all praises in ancient Hebrew. And Yahweh is the true name of the Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly calls God. His real name is Yahweh. All right? And Ba'ashem is how you say in the name in ancient Hebrew. And Yahushai is the true name of the Messiah, the only begotten Son, who people ignorantly call Jesus Christ. His real name is Yahushai. All right. And Rakak Wadash is how you say Holy Spirit in the ancient tongue. Also, I'm going to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching me this 100% truth, the true leaders of Israel. And also, I'm going to say shalom to the hopeful elect, the 144,000, the men that's out there on the highways and byways making their bodies a living sacrifice week in and week out. And also the men that's, pushing these videos by the way of the YouTube. All right. I'm going to say shalom. And also, I'm going to say shalom to the 1/3, the men, women, and children who listening in truth and sincerity. I'm going to say shalom as well. All right. And today I'm going to title this lesson, The Lord Runs the World. All right. Because the Lord, he controls, the Lord controls everything. He controls animals. He controls evil. He controls good. All right. The Lord is in control of everything. All right. So this is Ecclesiastes chapter 11. Oh, Salaki. Ecclesiasticus chapter 11 and verse 14. Prosperity and adversity, life and death, poverty and riches come of the Lord. All right. So prosperity. All right. So the people that's living good, the wealthy people that got these mansions, that's driving in a Maybachs, they Mercedes Benz, they Bentley trucks. All right. The Lord ultimately, he gave these people their riches. All right. But these people, people don't want to give credit to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. They want to give credit to saying, I worked hard for this. I went to school. I got my master's. I got my AA degree. I got my bachelor's degree, but they don't want to give the credit to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. But ultimately, Yahweh, he gave these people, that prosperity. He gave them the riches. He gave them they $1 million jets. All right. And adversity. All right. So the people that's, going through certain situations, that's going through tribulations. All right. The Lord, put those adversities on them. All right. And it says life and death. All right. So, because the Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, he controls life and he controls death. So these newborn babies that's being born, that's of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And the people that you hear about dying, they died in this fatal car accident. They died these plane crashes. That was of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Because the Lord, he controls, like I said, he controls everything. He controls prosperity. He controls these people they got all these riches. He controls the people that's going through these adversities, life and death, poverty and riches. All right. So the people that's homeless, that's eating out trash cans. All right. The Lord, he put them there. All right. And he controls riches. He controlled these people with all this money. He controlled, all these so-called pastors, these Joel Osteens of the world, Creflo Dollars, he controlling them. And it says, come of the Lord. All right. So the Lord controls all these things. All right. It don't matter if a person, rich or he famous or, he a homeless man on the streets or he a man that's living in the ghettos. All right. The Lord controls everything. All right. All right. I'm going to stay in Ecclesiasticus. I'm going to get Ecclesiasticus chapter 40 and verse 9. All right. Ecclesiasticus chapter 40 and verse 9. Death and bloodshed, strife and sword, calamities, famine, just tribulation, and the scourge. All right, death. All right. So, like I said in Sirach 11 and 14, he controlling life and death. All right. He can bloodshed. All right. People getting killed. Strife. He controlling that. And the sword. All right. He controlled these people. You hear about on the news, a so-called black man, he got shot down in the street by a police officer. Your Trayvon Martins of the world. The Lord, he's in the midst of that. All right, calamities. All right, the Lord controlling your calamities. All right, famine. All right, famine is lack of food. All right, the Lord is controlling that. Tribulations. You going through certain situations. The Lord is in the midst of that. And the scourge. All right, these things are created for the wicked, and for their sakes came the flood. All right, so all these things are created for the wicked. All right, because starting with the 2/3 of Israel, 2/3 of Israel, these deaths, bloodshed, strife, sword, these killings, these calamities, famine, tribulation, all these things is coming for 2/3 of Israel, because they don't want to come back to these laws, statutes, commandments. They don't want to hearken to the words of Yahweh Bashim Shai. All right, they want to do their own thing. All right, so the Lord got something coming for the 2/3 of Israel and you heathens. All right, and it says, and for their sake came the flood. All right, so all these things: death, bloodshed, strife, sword, calamities, famine, tribulation, the scourge. All these things is coming for the wicked. All right, and that started with 2/3 of Israel and the rest of you heathen nations. All right. All right, this is Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 31. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. All right, it's a fearful thing to fall in the hands of the living power, because the Lord is controlling all of these things. He controlling the deaths. He controlling, the famine. He controlling bloodshed, your tribulations. All right, he controlling who living, who dying. All right, so it's a fearful thing to fall in the hands of the living power, Yahweh Bashim Shai. All right, but 2/3 of Israel, they don't consider, they don't consider that, who you call God, is controlling all these things. All right, so 2/3, they gotta get. They got to get the famine. They got to get the sword. All right, because they don't want to they don't want to come back to the law, statute, commandments. And it was written for Israel. All right, you so-called blacks, Hispanic, and Native Americans. All right, so the Lord gonna judge them. All right, but 2/3 of our people and these heathens, they in cahoots with each other. They don't want to consider, Yahweh Bashim Shai is doing all these things. All right, it's Ecclesiasticus chapter. Slocky, I'm a little under the weather. It's Ecclesiasticus chapter 39 and I'm gonna start with verse 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance. All right, so created for vengeance. All right, so you hear these shootings. These people that shooting up these churches, that shooting up these schools. All right, all this is done by Yahweh Bashim Shai. All right, you hear about people getting stabbed to death. All right, you hear about these serial killers. All right, these spirits are created for vengeance. You hear about these tornadoes, these hurricanes. All right, because these tornadoes and hurricanes, they have spirits. And all that's coming from Yahweh Bashim Shai. All right, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force. All right. In the time of their destruction, they pour out their force. All right, and appease the wrath of him that made it. And who made this destruction? Who's making these forces? You know, who you people ignorantly calls God and Jesus. But their real name is Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. You know, they making these, they creating these spirits for vengeance. All right. So in the time of these destructions, you got to know that Yahweh Bashim Yahweh is doing this. We hear about these tornadoes that's been happening. You know, that's of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh. You hear about these churches getting shot down. That's of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh. You hear about these car accidents. That was of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh. You hear about these people getting stabbed to death. That's of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh. All right? And it says, verse 29, fire and hail and famine and death. All these things were created for vengeance. All right? So fire, hail, famine. All these things, and it says fire and hail and famine and death. All these things were created for vengeance. All right? So these natural disasters. That's of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh. All right? This famine that's going to hit, you know, that's going to hit America. That's of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh. It's going to be millions of people getting put to death. That's going to be of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh. All right? Verse 30. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, and the sword punishing the wicked to destruction. All right? So in the time of martial law and Jacob's trouble, it's gonna be beasts that we haven't seen yet. You know, but these beasts is gonna be of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh. It says teeth of wild beasts. All right? So you're gonna be seeing apparitions that you haven't seen before. You're gonna be seeing beasts that you've been seeing on these scary movies. All right, and scorpions, serpents, and the sword punishing the wicked to destruction. All right, so all these things, all these things are created for you 2/3. All right, because you 2/3 got death coming to you because y'all didn't want to hearken to the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh. And along with you, heathens. All right. So it's gonna be wild beasts, scorpions, serpents. And the sword punishing the wicked to destruction. All right. So the sword, today is the modern day gun, but the sword is any killing instrument that's used to kill you. All right. So these wild beasts, that's the way of the sword. These scorpions, serpents, that's the way, that's the killing instrument of the sword. Well, that's an example of the sword, I should say. All right. All right, this is Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 39. See now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. All right, so the Lord, this whole lesson, it's been talking about that the Lord kills. All right, the Lord kills. All right, so this is not Satan. Satan not doing what the hell he want. Yahweh, who you people call God, is doing this killing. All right, I kill and I make alive. All right, so the Lord kills. We just discussed that, and He make alive. So these newborn babies, all right, that's of the Lord. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh. Our womb. All right, these people that's getting shot. They selling these drugs and they getting shot. That's of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh. All right, I heal. All right, you hear about people You know, they getting cured from these diseases. That's of Yahweh Bashir Abishai. All right. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. All right. So when it's your time, when the Lord calls on your time, when it's your time to die or it's your time to get killed, your time to get wounded, you can't escape that. All right. It's like the Final Destination. You see the movie Final Destination, when it was their time, to die, they couldn't escape that. No matter if they was, no matter where they was at. All right. So when the Lord calls your time, when it's your time to die, the Lord is gonna make it happen. All right. And it don't matter, if you got security guards around you. It don't matter if you think you're in a safe building. All right. When it's your time, it's your time. All right. Okay, let me get Psalms chapter 68 and verse 20. He that is our power is the Most High. Salaki. He that is our power is the power of salvation, and unto Yahweh the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, belong the issues from death. All right. So all these death you see is of the Lord. All right. All these deaths that you see is of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. It don't matter if it's from a plane crash. It don't matter if it's from some kids shooting up a school. Burning down these churches. It don't matter if it's something small as, a dog getting hit by a car. All right? That's of Yahweh Bashir Abishai. It don't matter if it's a cat, he get ran over by a car. That's of Yahweh Bashir Abishai. All right? The Lord is controlling everything. He controls the wicked. He controls the good. He controls these animals. He controls these insects. All right? The Lord is in control. All right? Not Satan. You're not in control of your own life. The Lord, Yahweh Bashim Abishai, is controlling you. He's the ultimate puppet master. All right? Let me get one more precept, and then I'm going to close it out. All right, this is Proverbs chapter 20 and verse 24. A man's goings are of the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. How can a man then understand his own way? All right. So the man's goings are of the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right. So when you sleep and you wake up and you say, man, I'm in the mood to go to the beach today. That was the Lord put that in your mind. The Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. You wake up and you say, man, I want to read the book of Job today. All right? The Lord planted that in your head. The Lord planted this this in my head today, to make this video. All right? So man's goings are of the Lord. It's no free will. You don't have no free will. All right? These people like to say, oh, I got a free spirit. That's not true. All right? Your spirit is of the Lord's. All right? Because we might say, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to the mall this Friday, and then I'm going to go to the movies. But when Friday comes, your mind might change. You might do something completely different than what you planned that you wanted to do or what you thought that you was going to do. All right? When we be out on the highways and byways, you know, and we have these people walking by, you know, that was of the Lord. You know, you got people walking by and they stop and talk to us. You know, they goings are of the Lord. All right, so there's no free will. You're not a free spirit. All right, because the Lord, you know, He seals our inward thoughts while we sleep. All right. The Lord controls, you know, when you wake up. The Lord controls that you go to work today. All right. You know, so, you know, that was it on this lesson. Lord willing, this video was edifying. I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, the true leaders of Israel, and shalom to the hopeful elect, the 144,000, along with the 1/3 men, women, and children. To the next lesson, I say shalom.